A string walked into a bar. And the old 47. I love it. This joke gets more twisted every time I read it. One of my all-time favorites. There's a loophole everywhere. Wasn't his bigger brother Coil in there the other day and got an anchor steam before he changed his name to Line? Good old 47. No joke. This joke got me laid. He returned unattached. That why he went in the bar in the first place. Rope fit to be tied. There was a rope that was a great guy, the life of the party. Then he disappeared. No one saw him for months. Then one day he came back to the bar, looking sad, and oddly deformed. Hey Ropey, what happened to you? I tied the knot. I heard this joke with two ropes walked into a bar. One outside and messed up their hair. The Hills. Are you familiar with the Hills? This joke is as old as them. That doesn't mean it's bad. Did the bartender serve him or was he too tied up? All the elements of Earth have animals except fire. Animals that live in the water, the air, the earth. But nothing evolved to survive fire. Those magma snails that live in volcanoes. There are lots of plants that need fire to exist and animals that need those plants. But the animals can't live in a fire as the fire uses oxygen to carry on burning. I feel like lots of animals have evolved traits to survive fires but not by staying in the middle of it with no protection. What about fireflies? Checkmate atheists. Fire is more something falling apart than its own thing. But if you wanna go with it, I'd say that's us. Whether it's cooking, making steel, making power or making stuff dead, we live and die by the church or combustion. Also, birds don't live in the air. They fly but not forever. Their nest is on Earth. There are plants, mostly trees, that only release their seeds when a bush fire comes through. I don't use lowercase letters like some socialist. The lowercase letters will seize the means of punctuation. Marks my word. What a capital idea, loving the puns here. That's cap. You make a great uppercase. Justified, right and bold. Make America capitalist again. This guy capitalizes. Not a 2024. Stop yelling. I can read you just fine. You shouldn't have to lower your standards for anyone. Actually start I shine without the punchline. If you woke up tomorrow a billionaire, what would you do with the money? Disappear. Start a podcast on how you too could become an overnight billionaire. Check which currency it's in. Go to a 5-star hotel, take a shower and wash away the poverty one last time. Swim in it like Scrooge McDuck. I'd honestly just lay in bed and catch up on some well-needed sleep first Lamau as long as no one knew. Finally, be able to take a deep breath out from under all my worry and stress. I'd probably sleep for 2 days straight. I'd have such a hard time spending it, though. Go to a local hole-in-the-wall diner and tip 1,000 on some pancakes. Retire my parents, pay their loans, buy them each their dream car and then retire myself to a big cabin in the some smart investing on the side. Buy my mortgage, probably quit my job, buy a Veilside RX-7, travel more. Bet it all on red. Meat consumed as comfort food is also an emotional support animal. Emotional support cow. This is stand-up material. If you had 80 jokes in a row like this, I would suffocate. I can bring bacon everywhere because it's my emotional support food. I like your style. Emotional support. Some people would have beef with this belief. FYI, this was so good it interrupted my zonked out, zombie mind control post doom scrolling to fall down the Reddit rabbit hole. Oh wait, never mind. What kind of shower were you taking? Thanks for unintentionally pointing out the extreme immorality of eating flesh. How about emotional support humans? I loved how my emotional support dog tasted. Okay, but then you have to consider the ramifications of eating your emotional support animal. Is your daddy your emotional support animal? Bro, OMFG, ha 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 ha. I'm sorry, this one got me. My daughter broke up with this amazing guy because he lost both his arms. I guess he wasn't a hands-on boyfriend anymore. At least he won't give her the clap. I feel for this guy. It cost me an arm and a leg to keep my girl happy. Well, the Second Amendment says she has a right to bear arms. From a satisfaction standpoint, probably harder to date an armless dude than a penisless dude. She doesn't feel safe with an unarmed man. Disarmingly funny. It's harder for him to protect her because he's not armed. Maybe he can date a girl with no legs. At least she won't run off from him. And yet he still pushes her away metaphorically. But, on the other hand, he's armless now. He probably can't handle himself anymore. You could say she left him empty-handed. She is an army commander. Maybe she wanted him to choke her. You gotta give to him. Girls like a handyman. I applaud you for this. Daughter's ex-boyfriend does not. Sometimes it's very hard to hold on to a good woman. My wife told me she wants another baby. My wife and I decided that we don't want to have kids. We're going to sit them down and tell them tonight. Roses are red, cacti are prickly, and now may I say, that escalated quickly. Is that what those rooms near toilets are for? Marked baby change. Fuck her. Mouth shut face. Dude, don't talk about your human trafficking online. That makes you easier to track. Rookie error. Take her to the mall. she'll find one there. One baby can be a mistake but another one is a choice. Damn, I secretly wished I was this kind of woman. Any particular color, dear? Stop kidding around, I fetus isn't right. She's the hunter, you're the fox. Damn. Just damn, do it. I'd count hard to be a father, but I think it's you're so happy to hear that. Go to Pound Town, it all depends if you're ready I guess. Run. I was just poking fun. She took it seriously, baby. Saying woman friend is weird but girlfriend is normal. And lady friend has certain connotations. Same as boyfriend is normal while man friend is awkward. I've always thought about a similar thing with just the word girlfriend. As separate words, they're fine. And they can both be true. But when you put them together, the meaning she a girl. She your friend? Yes. So she's your girlfriend? Whoa, wait a second. Slow down there. You're all forgetting about the most important one of all, guy friend. It's weird cause you're just slapping a noun before another noun. If you use an adjective, like female, then it makes sense. This is one of the many advantages of the term partner. What about a lady friend? I've heard that one or twice and hadn't given it much thought. Man friend sounds like a Bigfoot character. Serious, what's something sexual that you didn't expect to enjoy as much as you did before you tried it? Oral on a woman. The idea of going down and not liking the taste seemed like something I knew would happen. When I finally did it, seeing her wriggle in ecstasy was amazing and the taste of it was a victory. My ex-wife slowly got me into having anal sex with her. Now those are some of my favorite memories of her. Getting pounded with a thumb in my ass and a vibrator on my clit. My girlfriend put a finger in my ass while jerking me off one night. First she was rubbing the area between my balls and ass, felt really good. Then kinda slid a finger up there and felt more pleasant than I expected. Fucking my wife with a dildo was so incredibly hot. Getting to see her face from a different angle when she comes. Still, Australia's first government-backed pill drug testing service, after its first month of operation, found that all the cocaine tested by the service had purity levels below 27 with 40 of the samples containing zero cocaine. This will surely erode the staunch trust we all had in Aussie drug dealers. Given data points by drug. Cocaine, all samples under 27 purity, 40 of samples had no cocaine. Heroin, all samples contained heroin with purity levels ranging from 31-63. MDMA, 65 of samples contained MDMA. Ketamine, majority of samples contained ketamine. Fentanyl, no fentanyl derivatives found at all. A key takeaway thrown in at the end is that none of the samples contained any fentanyl. Does anyone know if this would be true for cocaine sampling in North America, or what the reason would be that fentanyl seems to be a much larger issue here than over there? Till in 2003, Space Shuttle flight director knew that Columbia's thermal protection system was damaged but decided to not tell the crew. He thought it would be better for them to have a happy, successful flight and die unexpectedly during entry than to stay in orbit with oxygen running out. Only bad options and very hard to be judgmental of the people involved. Personally, I think I would prefer to be told there was a high risk on re-entry and no chance of rescue, so I could at least tell my kids how much I love them, etc. My rationale is that these are highly trained people who know the risks of space flight, and I suspect they would handle it much more professionally than the average person, who'd probably lose their mind in fear, i.e. someone like me. Till, optometrists must provide you a copy of your prescription after an eye exam. It is referred to as the eyeglass rule. My wife went for an eye exam at an optometrist and they refused to give her the prescription details, insisting she needed to order glasses through them to find out what it was. They always leave off your pupillary distance unless you specifically ask for it. The first cheap eyeglasses I ordered online about made me fall downstairs every time because I measured my own incorrectly, and they seldom if ever do without you asking. Only way I know my prescription is because they sell me contacts and it's on the box. I feel like at some point they started doing that, then the little integrated eyeglasses store will take it then not give it back. Like, I am sure you can make them, but you'll get the paper, give it to the lens maker and the lens maker just keeps it by default. Like technically you were given it. Interesting. I see mine once a year and have never gotten this. Till a few days prior to the violent beheading and cannibalism that took place upon a Greyhound bus in 2008. The company was set to launch an ad campaign saying there's a reason you've never heard of bus rage. After the incident they removed all ads, including physical posters in NYC stations. Anyone who's ever even talked to someone who's ridden the Dirty Dog can tell you that it is not a utopia of cheap and fun transportation. On a good day it's slow and it's nasty. Well, that was horrible to read. Whoever decided on that ad campaign has obviously never ridden Greyhound. I looked up the price of a long-distance bus the other day. Insane. A plane will take you most of the times for a fraction of the money. Greyhound bus turn a 16-hour drive into a 56 harrowing ride of BO and feces, a 2.5-hour flight into the same because you need to carry big luggage or a bag of tools or stupid shit. The campaign didn't even make sense. It's not called car rage. Till in 2007 a player entered a Yu-Gi-Oh card tournament with a 2,222 card deck to demonstrate the game needed a deck card limit. The rule was changed to set a limit of 60 cards per deck, and apparently it was filled with cards that tells you shuffle your entire deck. Give me a few hours. Gotta shuffle. In Magic, there is no maximum for most formats, but you must be able to shuffle the deck unassisted in a timely manner. Yes, they make exceptions for people with disabilities who can't shuffle a normal size. Larger decks are less consistent, so everyone sticks to the minimum size. Very rarely will a deck run more than the minimum. Usually it's because you're going to be doing a lot of self-milling and don't want to deck out. There's a YouTube video on them, and the guys that did it ended up commenting their side of it. Worth a look up. Still, that Neil McDonough refuses to ever kiss a female co-star in his acting roles because of God and his wife, to save anyone else having to skim the article. I can never remember his name, but I'll never forget his eyes. He was never the same after Bastonia. Worked with him on Arrow, Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow. Absolutely hilarious in person, and just seems to love what he's doing. Peter Capaldi is the same way, I believe. Won't kiss anyone and famously kept his wedding ring on his Doctor Who. Actually met him as his private chauffeur. I had about an hour or so chat with him one-on-one. Real nice guy. Guy plays a great baddie. He's a little one-note, but that may just be him getting typecast as the CEO but violent villain. Haven. A lot of actors have no kissing policy. I knew he never took off his wedding ring from an Arrowverse panel I saw him do a few years back. The life expectancy of a house declines dramatically when it is no longer lived in. This is why people run dehumidifiers in parts of houses they don't use much heat. AC. Detroit has entered the chat. Feels more of a till post. One factor may be insects don't come to the house in multiple as much if there is human presence. That depends on who is living in it. That's what happens when a house has no souls to feast upon. I want to live in a Norwegian stave church right on the edge of a fjord and a waterfall. I'd say the vastly more important factor is a lived-in house is maintained. With someone living there, a leaking roof or window is fixed relatively quickly. Humidity doesn't really affect buildings. A house becomes hungry, but it can never starve. This might be the last chance I have to tell this joke for a while. So a man and his dog walk into a bar to watch the Packers-Bears game. Long, well told. A guy is jogging through the park when he spots an old man sitting at a table playing chess with his jogger. Stops in his tracks as the old man moves one of his chess watches on as the dog appears to think for a moment and then moves one of his own pieces into the correct. The jogger tells him, "Your dog actually knows how to play chess. That's incredible." Old man says, "He's not that incredible, son. I've won 4 of the last 5 matches. Listen here, you little shit. I love it, but I'm going to change it to Leafs and Bruins when I tell it. Nice, fuck you and take my upvote." DA Bears were in a rebuilding decade. Heard this about 20 years ago, except it was about the Gamecocks on their losing streak. I'm stealing this joke. Love it. I guess the dog was Shaggy. Jets and Patriots 8 years. Today I learned, French automaker Citroën sabotaged wartime Nazi truck production by moving the notch on the oil dipstick down. The engines would not have the correct amount of oil and prematurely fail. Passive-aggressive resistance. Wow. That's brilliant. Really emphasizes why tyrannical occupation isn't a great long-term strategy. It makes supply chain security, which is already super duper hard, substantially harder. It's 2024. Citroën can move its notch up back in its right place already. I see you read the unbelievable World War II facts as credit thread the other day. Wasn't this here a few days ago? Oh, I swear I just read that the other day. Now that's speaking my Berlingo. What are some terrifying human body facts? Your body will dull the pain until you get somewhere safe, at which point all hell breaks loose and you finally realize you're severely hurt. Tumors can have hair and teeth. I think I've worked for a couple of them. You can get an aneurysm at any time, no matter how healthy you are. Locked-in syndrome is a thing. The affected person is fully aware and unable to move anything except their eyes. Unless they get total locked-in syndrome, which paralyzes the eyes too. If you are unlucky enough, you could lose your ability to fall asleep at all. I think it's called fatal insomnia. It starts as regular insomnia that gets worse and worse until sleep medication doesn't do anything anymore. You never sleep again. There's no cure. All you could do is wait for one of the slowest deaths ever. All our bodies are fighting off blood cancer all the time. Immune system kills spontaneous blood cancer cells every day. What are some unsaid first date rules everyone should know? Put your damned phone down. Don't be afraid of awkward silences. And don't overthink. Be on time. Be interested in what the other has to say. No short-worded answers. Be into her more than yourself, i.e., don't ever talk about yourself. If you've met online, don't pressure the person too much with your damn it. It's basically a stranger. You don't need to end up in a relationship with that person. Get to know them as a human being at first, without any exact ideas of the type of your potential future relationship. No murdering. I think that the first rule on your first date is no eye-loading, meaning don't take her on a hike in the woods for a first date, you serial killer. Don't try to fuck. If it happens, that's great, but everybody's gonna have a better time if nobody has a hard agenda. Don't get sloppy shit-faced drunk. I know a few girls who broke that rule. Don't eat messy foods. What are your best male masturbation tips? I'd just like to remind everyone that Op is probably reading all of these replies with his penis in hand. Turn your Bluetooth off so it doesn't connect to your smart TV. Relax when you're about to finish. Loosen your legs and ass. Your body will take a screenshot. If you need lube in the shower, don't use the bar soap. Not at your meals, not at work, especially if you're a teacher, never after chopping chilies. There are better ways to extinguish fires. Wash your hands. Urologist here: use lube and don't use a death grip if you don't want to develop Peyronie's disease down the road. I came here for just the tips. Learn where your frenulum is and give it some special attention. On the underside of the head of a penis. If you'd have to find an equivalent of a clitoris on your penis, that would be it. Urologist told me at minimum, clear the pipes once a week. Anything else is a bonus, especially if you don't want prostate issues, cancer. What do you think about Gervais' famous quote that goes, a Christian telling an atheist they're going to hell is as scary as a child telling an adult they're not getting any presents from Santa? I mean, yeah, that seems obvious. You're threatening someone who doesn't believe in something with an element of that thing. Josh Thomas says, that's like a hippie threatening to punch me in the aura. As an atheist who lived in the Bible Belt for a few years, I can tell you he's spot on. Christians give off strong nice guy vibes when they hear the words "I'm not religious." Yeah, it's called a Christian doesn't excuse you from being a fucking rude knobhead. I think it's pretty accurate. So true. He's right. What's the ugliest truth? There's a lot of fucked up people out there. The build-up and anticipation leading up an event almost always winds up being better than the event itself. Life isn't fair, and expecting it to be will only make you miserable. The more attractive you are, the greater chance you have at success. If you're ugly, you're most likely going to have a tougher life. The good guy doesn't always win. Life is not fair. You can work harder than everyone and still fail. You will think about your loved ones that have passed away more than you did when they were still alive. There is a 1 in 3 chance you will not live to see 80. Might not be the ugliest, but it does mean you have absolutely no guarantee you will grow old. Hurt people hurt people. No one is coming to save you. On balance, being old kinda sucks. The world is darker than you imagine. If you go looking for darkness, you will always find it, and it can always get darker. It's not fair for ugly people. You can't imagine a new color regardless of how hard you try to. This is a several hundred, if not even a several thousand-year-old brain exercise. Nope. I know what upturn looks like. Wrong. Dark matter sherbert, like when your cornea gets folded by the event horizon color blur. You know what I mean, right? Maybe not a new color, but you've never seen cyan like this. Delete 2 unless you've also been trying. You can actually see new ones right now. They're called chimerical colors. There are exercises to do it. You just say that because you haven't thought of schmurple. Same for trying to imagine a new sense. Blurmkin. It's got a tropical feel. Not quite purple, not quite orange. It has a slight hum that relaxes you. I can taste it now. People with synesthesia can. Even if you imagine a new color, you will not be able to express it within the structure of existing language and or current pigments. You would need to invent everything.